Hello, and greetings, lovely person, from RPGmodsFan. This video is part 9 of my walkthrough and review of the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons adventure, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Note that this video is appropriate for Dungeon Masters only. If you are a player, please stop watching now. In this video, I will be going over the adventure book's 8th chapter titled Winter Wizardry. Fellow Dungeon Masters, in order not to repeat myself too much, I would highly recommend watching my parts 1 to 5 videos before watching this video. My parts 6 to 8 videos would be optional, since their elements do not tie directly into this chapter of the adventure book. Just to repeat myself, this video will contain spoilers, so players, this is your final warning to stop watching. In this video, I will be discussing one of the villain's Lairs in the adventure. The Zentarum faction in Waterdeep is a fractured organization. Those who support Manshoon, who is really a clone, want to destroy the Xanathar Guild and seize political and economic control of the city. Those who oppose Manshoon want to expose and destroy him before they are themselves apprehended or driven out of the city by the local authorities. Manshoon has many enemies, including the Harpers, the Blackstaff, the Lord's Alliance, Elminster of Shadowdale, amongst others. Thus, he needs to hide and operate from the shadows. To me, this is what makes Manshoon the least threatening of all the adventure's villains. All the player characters would need to do is bring proof of Manshoon's existence to either the Blackstaff or the Open Lord, and they would then deal with Manshoon and wipe him out of existence or out of Waterdeep in the least. Despite his unlikely chances, Manshoon wants to rule Waterdeep as a tyrant. His plan is to get the embezzled cache of gold from the hidden Vault of the Dragons and use it to bribe the Masked Lords into making him the new Open Lord. Currently, he is already blackmailing 2 of the Masked Lords. In addition, he also wants to regain control of the Zentarum faction. Manshoon lairs in an extra-dimensional sanctum that can be accessed from the Kolot Towers. The Kolot Towers are a pair of dilapidated wizards' towers in the southern ward of Waterdeep. They were once the property of the Kolot brothers, who were wizards. A magical, invisible force field surrounds the towers. At the player character's current levels, it cannot be dispelled, but it can be bypassed or temporarily disabled. The denizens inside the towers use teleportation circles in order to exit and enter the towers. Manshoon's lair is pretty much a dungeon crawl. In order to access the extra-dimensional sanctum, one needs to use a teleporter ring in tower chamber number K22. The first two levels of Kolat Towers functions pretty much like any other stronghold. Currently in the dining room, which is chamber K2, are 3 Zentarum thugs. Their leader wears a teleporter ring. Chamber K3 is the kitchen. There is a halfling mage here who is also a cook and also wears a teleporter ring. Chamber K4 is the library, and there are 2 gargoyles here. Also in the library is an old wizard spellbook. On a stone landing in chamber K6 are 2 identical wooden chests. However, one of them is a mimic. In the other chest are various items worth a total of 140 gold pieces. All the stairs that go up from the second level of the towers are invisible. Chamber K8 is the quarters for Manshoon's 3 apprentices. Each of the apprentices wears a teleporter ring. They are currently found further up the main tower. Chamber K11 was a laboratory. Manshoon has already picked it clean. Imprisoned in chamber K13 is a gargoyle that has been imbued with the personality of Lady Gondofrey, a lawful good knight. If freed, the gargoyle can fight alongside with the player characters. In chamber K15, Manshoon's 3 apprentices have summoned a Barlgura. For now, the Barlgura is subdued. If it breaks free, it will wreak havoc on all in the towers. Chamber K16 was once a construct workshop. The metal scraps on the floor will fly together, forming an animated armor that then attacks intruders. Rooms K17, K18, and K19 were once the private chambers of one of the Kolat brothers. Due to a flesh golem in chamber K17, Manshoon has instructed his minions to leave this area alone. In chamber K22 is a teleportation circle, which is the means to get to Manshoon's extra-dimensional sanctum. Guarding the room are 4 flying snakes and 1 spectator. Displayed is Manshoon's extra-dimensional sanctum map. It exists in a finite demiplane. By using the teleporter ring at the teleportation circle, the player characters will arrive in chamber E1. What happens in the foyer, which is the next room, depends if the characters are expected guests or trespassers. If trespassers, then a big battle will ensue in this room. In chamber E3 is Kavja Cinevern, a female human mage. She was a red wizard of Thay, but now works for Manshoon. She will head to the foyer and join in on the fight against the trespassers of the sanctum. Manshoon does not like dealing with outsiders. Thus, he creates copies of himself using the simulacrum spell to do so. Whether it be greeting guests or battling trespassers, the simulacrum residing in the freezing cold chamber of room E7 will head to the foyer to meet the characters. If Agorn Foucault and Vivette Blackwater survived their encounters with the adventurers, then they will be in chamber E8. Likewise, they will head to the foyer to battle against trespassers. 2 female halfling fighters named Havia Quickknife and Mookie Plush guard the audience chamber. However, they will head to the foyer to deal with any trespassers. The rest of the Sanctum's denizens will not be joining in on the fights in the foyer, and will be staying in their rooms. Chamber E5 is Manshoon's laboratory. If Ertzl Fluxen survived his earlier encounters with the player characters, he will be here dourly scrubbing lab equipment. He will try to seize on any opportunity that will bring Manshoon's favor back to him. Manshoon himself will be in his quarters. If one of the player characters is a member of the Centaurum faction that opposes Manshoon, then their last mission will be to eliminate the betrayer Schemo Weirdbottle. Schemo will flee and try to take refuge in the Kolot Towers. Other than this faction mission, there are no other plot hooks written into the adventure for the player characters to visit Manshoon's lair, unless Manshoon has managed to obtain the Stone of Galore. And that concludes my walkthrough of Manshoon's lair. The combination of all 9 parts of my videos is pretty much a complete walkthrough of the Waterdeep Dragon Heist adventure. However, there are gaps that I may do videos on at a much later date, if at all. My biggest gap is covering, or I should say, lack of covering, the faction missions. In my Part 5 video, I believe I did an adequate job of covering the encounter chains. However, they were brief and not very detailed. The adventure book's last chapter is Volos, Waterdeep, and Cheridian, that I am very tempted to do. However, there already are lots of lore videos on Waterdeep on YouTube, so I may decide not to do it. Thank you for watching. Hope this video has been informative and entertaining. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. I do like feedback. Till next time, this is RPGmodsFan saying cheers, have a good day, and goodbye.
Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling.